Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Migwe. Now we shift gears from news. Now we talk about enhancing leadership and governance in public finance management. And to help me in this conversation in studio, I'm joined by Rodolphe Banshi, who is the head of economics and social governance program at Africa Capacity Building Foundation. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mike.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well.
Yes.
And you?
I'm good.
Wonderful.
So, the first question I would ask, why Kenya? Why Kenya? Why did you choose Kenya to come and launch this program?
Thank you so much, Mike, for inviting us. On behalf of the Executive Secretary of ACBF,
Yes.
I would like to thank your channel for inviting us to this studio this morning.
Yes.
Why Kenya? Kenya is one of the countries in terms of innovation, in terms of reform, the PFM sector is doing very well. And we feel like it is very important for us to support this country in the trend of building a strong PFM system, public financial management system. So what we want to do here is to continue to support the government work in this area, but also to build a momentum that other countries can see and come to learn, from Kenya experience, because we feel like Kenya is effective in this area.
Yes. So, speaking about public finance management, what are the principles that govern this aspect, especially when it comes to spending public funds?
In the public management system, there are some rules and principles that guide, and you are right. And the most important thing is good governance around public finance management system and transparency. And to be able to do that, it's help the government to, let me say, build trust among citizens, so that when they pay tax, that they see that tax is used to improve their life in the development agenda of the countries. This means that when they pay tax, it can support social service to citizens. And if they see this happening, it gives them more incentive to pay tax. This is very important in terms of accountability, because citizens need to know also what the government is doing with their money. This means that there should be a kind of public access to all the financial management statement, so that citizens will see clearly what the government is doing with their money to build more trust.
Is there an approach to that? Because in most cases you'll find people are not aware of how governments are using their funds, and that's why sometimes you find there is reluctance to pay taxes. Is there a way to deal with that?
Yes, there is a way, because there are some rules in terms of budget, let me say, budget development and budget making. Because in the process of budget making, you need to ensure that your budget is aligned with your national development or your policies, and which are also linked to, let me say, that your offer as, when you are running to be a president in the country. This means that you set some goal and you sell let me say, your development agenda, and the citizen buy it. That's why they elect, the authority in the country. So based on that, you design your budget to address these challenges and to be able to serve your citizen in a better way, to deliver, let me say, a qualitative public service. And based on that, then you need to not involve them in the budget preparation process, to make them be aware that their needs have been addressed during the budget process. So this is the beginning of the budget.
So the idea is to...
Citizen budget?
Yes. The idea is for citizens to see their money work.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. And then if they saw it at the beginning, that the budgets have been, let me say, adopted at the parliament, taking into account, their needs in terms of their priority. At the end, they should see also what have been done from what have been decided to be done. And this means that you need to share the budget to the citizen through different kind of channel. It could be, the good practice say that you should put it on your website, and you should design also citizen-based budget for them to see clearly what are the budget line addressed to each area of their interest. It could be also put in some local language so that, I don't know, if you have some citizen in Mombasa who don't speak English, they can see the information at least and get informed. At the end of the budget implementation, you also need to do a report and share it with the citizens so that they can see how the budget has been used and more effectively to address their need.
Yes.
And this is very important for the citizens.
It should be a citizen-oriented process.
Exactly.
Now,
very important.
Let's talk about the importance of public finance management, not just its importance, but excellent usage of public finance.
Let me say that the importance of public finance management is, let me say that if you want to know what are the priority of policy in the country, look at the budget. The budget is the key information to say, because if I say I want to put health as a priority in my development, then the budget, let me say, proportion that have been allocated to health will be the bigger in the global budget. And if you say that you want to put education as a priority, then you will see that the budget allocation in the education will be the biggest share. And this means that the budget show the priority. And you cannot talk about the public financial management without the budget. And in the public financial management is a system, starting from the, because the budget is linked to tax, the economy. So you cannot take the tax if you don't have a strong economy. That's why the budget preparation will start with the macroeconomic forecast to see what could be the economic growth and how the budget can be aligned to it so that we can have tax not being a burden for the citizen, but the right tax based on the economic growth to be able to support the development of the country. Yeah, that's very important.
Even as we talk about that, talk about how the public sector now needs to ensure they have the right people in places of leadership to ensure that there's effective public finance management.
Yeah, thank you for this question. Before going to this question, if you allow me to come back on our organization, ACBF. ACBF is the African Capacity Building Foundation and established since 1991 with around 14, 15 countries. We start with the support of some international organizations like the World Bank, AFDB, African Development Bank, UNDP. And since its inception, with the mandate, I need to come back on the mandate, to build human resource capacity, but also institutional capacity to support the African country development process. And if you remember, in 1991, this was the year of the structural adjustment in country where they were suffering with the macroeconomic stability issues. And ACBF was, incepted to support country in this process because this time we found that Africa needs a strong capacity in macroeconomic management, to be in economic policy management, to be able to deal in its relationship with the international organization, but also to support their own development process. And since then, we have been able to train like 50,000 civil servants, across Africa. And we have been also able to establish 50 think tanks. And we are proud about one of the think tanks, which is the Kenyan think tank, KIPRA, which we support in its inception. And KIPRA is making a huge impact in the policy making area or evaluation in Kenya. And so right now we have 40 member countries who are part of ACBF, and the Minister of Finance are the member of the Board of Governance of ACBF. let me say, Minister of Economic and Planning and Finance. And then right now we have a new strategic plan with, under the leadership of Mr. Mamadou Bitté, who is the Executive Secretary of ECBF. And with this new strategic plan, we have 4 key impact areas. The first key impact area is climate change. And climate change, as you know, is one of the biggest issues currently. And we have seen it, what's happened recently in Kenya and across the world. And we want to support capacity building of all the stakeholders in the public sector, but also globally, to be able to address, to mitigate the climate effect. And then we have the second key impact area, which is related to agribusiness. And you know, most of the African citizens, more than the half percent, are, let me say, working in the agricultural sector. And if we do not increase the add value of, let me say, the agricultural sector, we will not be able to have food sovereignty. We will not be able to increase our growth. And under this, we'll be supporting. The third key impact area is trade. And under trade, we want to support the free trade agreement established among the African countries at the African Union level. So we'll be supporting SMEs capacity and also all the Minister of Trade and the government to be able to align with this new agreement that's been established in the African level. And the last key impact area is the economic and social governance, and which is a traditional area of ECBF, supporting the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Planning in terms of capacity building. And under this economic and social governance, we want to strengthen the economic and governance management in countries. And for this, we have 3 strategic objectives. The first one is to enhance evidence-based policy formulation, you know, because your policy to be effective and address development challenges, we need to base it on data and to be able to forecast what are the current issues and what are the current level and how can we set some target that can be measurable. And on this, we want to continue to build the capacity of National Planning Institute, but also think tank. And we are thinking also of strengthening the planning, national planning ministers and civil servant capacity. And we have the second objective, which is related to increasing domestic revenue mobilization. This is crucial in Africa if you want to build a sustainable development. You cannot count on external funding. You need to count on yourself. And right now, most of the countries in Africa are having some issue to get access to external funding because this is also there's not enough window in this area. And mostly, I think it's crucial for us to learn to count on ourselves and to develop our, let me say, our countries based on our own resources. And this is where we want to strengthen the capacity of tax administration, to strengthen the capacity of tax, official, but also tax policy unit. And we have the third strategic objective, which is to strengthen the PFM the public finance management performance through leadership, capacity development, leadership and governance. And this, why we are doing this, and this will bring me to your question, and to say that we found that in terms of technical skill, sometimes you will see that most of the high level, let me say that technically in Africa, we have been able to support it, and we have seen that technically we are very well in different areas right now. I think that Africa can be proud of its civil servants in this area. But we need to continue to increase our performance. We need to continue to improve our skills. And we found that there is a need, there are some gaps in terms of soft skills. Soft skill, why soft skill? In terms of strategic management, in terms of change management. And change management has been identified as one of the, challenges in public financial management in country. How do you deal with citizen? How do you deal with your civil servant to bring new mindset in terms of being more transparent, being more public service oriented, and being able to negotiate better in this sector. And we found that there is a need to fill this gap because there is no offer in this area currently. And as in the African Capacity Building Foundation with this mandate, we found that we need to address it. This is why we have this new program called Enhancing Leadership and Governance in Public Finance Management for to increase this sector performance, which is really goal-oriented in delivering right and qualitative public service to citizens.
Yes. What would you say has been the impact of these capacity building initiatives in the context of better public finance management?
What could be the impact? Under this program, what we are looking is to have a strong leadership capacity of the senior official in the public financial management sector. This will guide us to improve the public financial management reform in countries. Because when you see through some evaluation tools, assessment tool, there are some areas in public finance management system that need to be improved. And this is, let me say, one of the tools called PFE, is a public finance management and accountability evaluation tool. And on this, we found that there are some areas, specifically on the oversight area, there are some need to improve in most of the African countries. And at the end of this program, we want to see some improvement based on these targets, let me say that, on these indicators. How are the public financial oversight being improved in country? How the leadership capacity bring more strong reform in the public finance management system? And at the end, how this increase the public service delivery quality in countries.
Yes. What would you say are the roles or responsibilities of financial leaders in within the public sector, especially when it comes to instilling financial discipline, providing guidance to policymakers, and all, in the aspect of maximizing value for government expenditure?
Yeah. I think the public finance management system play a key role on that, and each actor of the system have this role. And one thing we found that need to be strengthened in countries is how do the system actors see the bigger picture? Because to be able to do that, to add value in the money, or use every unit of your currency, and to make sure that this will have the result that you designed for. And this is crucial. This means that you need to have a good budgeting process. How do you forecast? How do you set your target and policies? And how do you evaluate the right budget to be affected to this? If you miss this process, then at the end it might be difficult. And then if this is set in the budget implementation, how do we ensure that there's a sound management of public fund in terms of how it's been used? How do we avoid wasting the public funding? Yeah, this is very, very important. And how do we audit? How do we control and audit this process to make sure that what has been planned to meet this target have been done by those who are supposed to manage policies. And at the end, and how do we, let me say that, evaluate or appreciate what have been done with each funding? And we have this system across Africa in the public management system, but sometimes they work in silos. And because of these issues, it's very difficult to be able to to reach the, the goal. Then under this program, we want to bring what we call the policy dialogue around the public finance management issues so that country can learn from each other. And this is what we want to do under this program, to make sure that at the national level, the actor of the PFM are talking to each other to be able to address together in the bigger picture for, let me say, public service delivery for citizens in countries.
Yes.
This should be the focus.
Yes. And still, on the aspect of transparent budgeting, it is important when it comes to enhancing trust in government institution. Talk about its benefit briefly and how it contributes to the willingness of people now in paying taxes. Yeah.
No, I think that's the transparency is key, because if we took a relationship between two people, if I give you my money, you should be accountable and share with me what have you been doing with this and what you get is if we agree on what should be done by this. And so transparency is very crucial. And we hear in countries that citizens saying that, oh, we are paying tax, but we cannot see how tax is used for. And sometimes they will say that the government is wasting our money. But this is due to sometimes the lack of transparency, or let me say, or accountability in terms of giving the right back, what have been given to you, how have been using it, and how was the, let me say, the result for using the public fund. And this is why the budget reports need to be published so that the citizen would see it, but there should be a clear and effective communication. This is also one of the skills that we are looking to build under this program, the communication skill. How do we communicate with our citizens in terms of us being a leader in the public finance management system? How do you communicate to give them the right information that their tax have been used, and they can. In some countries, you can see that they have a kind of a digital platform where citizens can trace the process of their tax being used for public service delivery. And this is very important. It's not only transparency, but it's to be also effective in using the public funding. This means that if I can pay my tax and make sure that I have social services, and I don't have to care about if my child is sick, who will be taking care of it, if the government's services are very effective to take care of my child. This gives also incentive. That's why the main goal of the public finance management should be respective, delivering qualitative public service to citizens. And if we are able to ensure this in the public policy implementation, then we will build a stronger trust among the citizens.
You talk about the aspect of enhancing soft skills now of public finance figures in terms of making sure that it leads to an improved public finance management.
Yeah. I think the leader that we need right now, as we say, to improve the public finance management performance, is those who have this mindset of public service oriented. And this is something clear that we need to build now. The second aspect of the thing that I see to be able to improve the public management system is how do we have some values of integrity, serving our countries, some values about leading self, leading, let me say, the team.
Yes.
This is very important because we can be effective if we lead our team effectively. And the last thing is leading your organization and leading the ecosystem. And for this, you need to know your institution. You need to know the environment around your institution at the national level, but also at the international level. Because the world is changing, we are in the global space. But how do you learn better in this area and adjust yourself to be able to serve? And this requires for you, if you take digitalization right now, most of the country are undergoing, transforming the public service, the digital transformation of the public services. The public financial management sector is under this change currently. How leaders are getting adjust to this, adapt to this, to be able to improve the public financial management performance. So these are the areas we want to support, and at the end, we are sure that we will have some impact. You know? And to add, we would not be doing it just by already designing it. What we do is to go to countries to ask. We have some framework to evaluate what are your needs, and if you have the need, then we design something to address their needs.
Yes.
Thank you.
In your own perspective, why do governments in Africa need radical changes in the way they approach finance, public finance, how they manage public finances, and responsibly or, well, sustainably? Why do they need that radical change?
I think there is a need because the context requires us to have a kind of a transformative leadership approach. Because citizens right now, the citizens are requesting from, there is a change, mindset change among the citizens currently. And they have a high demand for accountability, a high demand for, let me say, performance in the public policies. And this requires us to adjust to this. And because also the world is interconnected, citizens learn from the best practice around the world. So how do we also take this in account and don't just be shy in our place? Just, we need to open to this new trend in terms of citizen demand, a new trend in terms of the world, the global evolution. And this is why we need to change this, to have a new mindset in terms of the public service, in terms of accountability, in terms of performance, so that citizens will be, because this is the utmost goal of the public finance management, is to have a qualitative public service delivery to citizens. I think that this is very important, but because also at the end, we need to develop Africa. We should not be, at the tail. Let me say that we need to lead now. And this is what the voice that we can hear among the young people across Africa. We should not remain the last. We need to move forward. This is the mindset that all leaders should have, that Africa need to be leading in many areas.
What about the aspect where financial leaders need to have, to understand how government works and also have effective communication skills so as to influence or contribute to shape policy in as far as public finance management is concerned?
Yes, this is something we hear also when we visit countries where that's what I'm saying, that we should avoid, working in silos. It should be a systemic approach, and we hear sometimes the line ministry that that the Minister of Finance is not knowing the challenges and addressing them effectively. And that's why this program will not just, limiting itself to the financial, to the PFM system for now. At the pilot phase, we want to work with the PFM system, like the financial leaders, but at the end, we want to cover the public sector. Because if we are talking about a new mindset of leadership, this should not be limited to one sector. And we feel like there should be a communication, a strong communication between these sectors, but there should be also a global, leadership, management, leadership, views in the public sector. And this is why we are having this program who will be extended to the public sector, which we will call LEAPS, Leadership Excellence in Africa's public sector. Yes. If you have this global approach, then we'll have the same vision about how do we serve our citizens.
Of course, achieving effective public finance management is not a walk in the park. What would you say are some of the challenges that hinder that, and how can they be addressed?
The challenges will be related to, let me say, as I said, most of it will be how do we address communication? How do we address communication and between the stakeholder? This is something that we found it. This means that we need to have also a new mindset in terms of considering and valuing, let me say, the work of each actor in the system. I think that this is something that we need to address with this training. And above all, we need to have this strong leadership support from the government, from the ministers, for the implementation of this program. And I think that if we get their support, the challenges would not be a big deal because the program will be adjusted, to address them. Because also we will be doing what they found as the challenges to be addressed under this program. Yeah.
The aspect of external audit is very important, especially when it comes to public finance. How is it? What role does it play in reducing corruption and also leading to effective policy development, and also where citizens see value for their taxes?
Yeah. I think on this, the Supreme Audit Institution plays a key role. Let me say the internal audit institution also play a role in this. And for this, it's required to give them more, let me say, capacities. In terms of the technical capacities, but also in terms of their the independent autonomous. I think that this is one independency. I don't know how to say that. This means that if they have the power to audit whoever needs to be audited, and they have the right budget to do their work, this can improve, the oversight function, which is very crucial. Yes. And because those in charge of internal audit will be also able to address these challenges and to be able to see what are the risks in terms of public funding, let me say corruption or public fund wasting. And if they are able to identify it at the right way, at the right time, then we can avoid it. In terms of corruption, how do we address in terms of, let me say, in terms of regulatory ways, in terms of how the Public Finance Management Act is addressing this kind of issues. And if it's happened that there's no action to not make it work. And this needs to be also, that's why the justice system should be working on this also, to be able to avoid that people can just take public funds without any consequences. I think that the Supreme Audit Institution plays this role in relationship with the justice to be able to address that. And we have civil society organizations who are playing a crucial role, a key role in this area. How do we strengthen the capacity in countries to be able to help, identify or this kind of practice and also give the information to the right public institutions to address this issue. And this is very important. Under this program, we want to support the oversight function. This is the component 3 of this program, where we want to strengthen the oversight function. And this means we'll have some policy dialogue about the public financial management oversight in countries. And then we will be supporting them with some digital tool to be able to strengthen their function. And the last thing is to build them to peer-to-peer, exchange, to be able to learn from each other across Africa. Because some countries are doing well in this area. There are some countries who also need to improve it. And how do they connect themselves to learn from each other? This is something we'll be supporting.
Yes, but it seems that the program is headed in the right direction.
Exactly.
Comparatively, the private sector somehow tends to involve financial leaders in their big decision making processes, as opposed to sometimes public sectors where they pay more attention to economists and also policy makers at the expense of financial leaders. Why do you think this is the case, and how can they go around this?
Yeah, I think on their leadership capacity, I think you are right. Sometimes they can find themselves technically very well established, and sometimes you can be appointed because of the excellent paper that you can produce. And we hear this during some time our visit to country, that they say, yeah, I have been appointed, but there are some leadership management capacity that I'm lacking.
Yes.
How do I work to address this? And sometimes the system in place did not give them this opportunity to learn otherwise. Yes, of course, through their experience, they see how their boss or their supervisors are working. This is also one of the school. But still, the world is changing.
Yes.
So you need to adapt to the changing world. And this is why building this capacity will be supporting them, because this is the need that they express, and we want to address it, wherever they feel like there is a gap in terms of soft skill.
Yes.
We will be addressing. And this program has what we call a coaching support program area. And we have a strategic advisory panel composed of former Minister of Finance, leadership experts. They will be also coaching this cohort that we will recruit to strengthen their capacity under this program.
Yes.
We also have some coaches who are working, let me say, if you are working in the tax administration, you can have a coach who have been former tax administration managing director, or let me say, someone who play a kind of leadership position, and they will be mentoring them in this program. And at the end, we think that these gaps that they expressed it, or that we see, in the leadership, or let me say, in managing the institution, will be filled through this program.
Yes.
And this will bring the equilibrium between technically and the soft skill to be able to address the reform challenges.
Finally, talk about the launch that is set to happen on Friday?
On Friday.
Of enhancing leadership and governance in public finance management.
Yes, thank you so much. This launch will be on the 31st, this means on Friday, from 8:30 to 11. Let me say that, 8:30 to 10 in the agenda. And we will have Minister of Finance of the beneficiary countries who will be member of a panel discussion. We will have the Board of Governors of ECBF, who are the Minister of Finance, Planning, Economic and Planning, who will be part of this discussion. It's really to inform, but also to get the insights or the guidance about this program implementation. Because at the end, this program they will be the direct beneficiary of this program, because they will see the citizen, let me say, the collaborator capacity being built, so they will be supporting their vision in the department, and then this will lead to what we all look for, is to have a effective public finance management for a qualitative public service delivery to citizens.
Yes.
I think this will be a high-level panel, and we are waiting to have development partners, add to the Minister of Finance, but also the beneficiary institution being part of this panel. And it will be a very important and very impactful panel we are hoping for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for making time for Canada to come to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you so much for having us. Yes. We really appreciate this time.
Yes. That is Rodolphe Banshi, who is the head of Economics and Social Governance Program at Africa Capacity Building Foundation, talking to us about enhancing leadership and governance in public finance management. My name is Mike Migwe.